Hey everybody. I guess you're wondering what this paper is that I'm reading. Well, if you were with us last week, you know that I took my first quiz in almost 15 years, and that is this quiz. And so I am looking right now at the grade, and I'm going to show it to you, but I'll be right back. Hey, welcome back. This is the 30-year-old freshman. This is page 2, week 3. I took a week off last week. We took a week off last week. I was on vacation. The wife and I celebrated our 6-year anniversary. There's a picture of me and my wife. And so, don't worry, I still took my books. I mean, I had to study on vacation, which is lame. But, we had a good time. But, there's a lot that I need to really get into. Because, first of all, I want to answer some questions. I was asked some questions via email, and I thought they were kind of interesting, my take on certain things. So, the first question I was asked was, how do you deal with the hot 18-year-olds? And you know, it's actually pretty funny because, I mean, look, no matter where you go to college, if you go to a university or you go to a community college, a JUCO or whatever, there's going to be attractive girls or guys or whatever the case is. But here's the thing. Here's the thing with that question with me personally, besides the fact that I'm married. I don't really feel like I have to deal with the hot 18-year-olds as it's put. I am the kind of person who has learned from mistakes. And dealing with the 18-year-olds, it's got me where I am now. That's why I'm doing a video called The 30-Year-Old Freshman, because I was dealing with the hot 18-year-olds, you know, 10, 11, 12 years ago. So, I don't feel like I really need to deal with them, per se. You know, I mean, I look at it too, like, I'm basically in school to try to increase my net worth. And unless you marrying NBA stars out of high school pre-2003, ain't no 18-year-old really gonna help you do that. So I'm all about, you know, the dinero, pesos, yen, whatever you want to call them. I'm about revenue. And 18-year-olds ain't really doing that for me. So, and I'm not saying, look, I'm not saying that no 18-year-olds are attractive at college, or I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, you know, look, don't give me your phone numbers. I don't want your email address. I don't want your friend requests. Do not Google Plus me. We are not talking on Skype. We are not going to join study groups. I'm just not interested. I mean, look, if you're not bringing in any money, I'm sorry. I don't get the big deal. The other question that was asked was, why did I choose history and political science for my first subjects? And, you know, because I understand people don't like them. I get it. People think they're boring. History, you know, and history has a history of being boring. I mean, you think about when you were in high school and you had that lame history teacher, you know. I mean, it was like, it's a bunch of dead white guys, wars, treaties. It was lame. But as I get older and I kind of get an understanding for history, I tell people now that history is the blueprint of our future. History is how we got to where we are and where we're going to be going. I mean, you can look at our society today, and there are things in our society that were started back in the first colony in Jamestown, 1600. I mean, there are things that the British were doing then that we're using today in American businesses. So, you know, to me, that stuff is interesting. I find that interesting. I love history. You know, political science, that's another thing. You know, that's dealing with our government, our political system. I mean, again, I think that we all need to know a little bit. I mean, maybe you don't have to know everything. You don't have to run for president, but you probably should know the various political parties. You should know, the 3 branches of government. You should know something about, our government. You should know something about the way we do things in this country. So, yeah, I can understand they're boring, but, I kind of like them. I kind of get into it. And it's hilarious because I'm sitting in class, and I got this kid next to me. He's got to be like 19, 20 years old. And the instructor's sitting there, and the instructor says, okay, guys, listen up. This is going to be on the test. And he starts rambling on about Jamestown or whatever. And the kid is just, he's somewhere else. He's not listening. He's not there. And I look over at him, and he's drawing circles and squares. And he's drawing little men, and I'm like, now, the teacher is giving you a warning that this is going to be on the test. He says, hey, listen up. This is going to be on the test. That's like, mayday, mayday, warning. Listen, you need to put down what you're doing. You could be texting your girlfriend. You could be sleeping. I don't care what you're doing, but when he says, listen up, this is going to be on the test, you need to stop, grab your pen and notepad, write down what he says. When he says, hey, you can go back to drawing ovals, I don't really care, but you need to kind of listen a little bit. Just a little bit. I mean, I know like this history thing is boring, but look, man, I mean, like I said to you, like I told you before, I've learned from my mistakes. These are the mistakes that I made. So I'm learning from it, and it's hard for me to sit there and not like be a parent and like be like, hey, look, why don't you pay attention to what the guy's saying? I mean, I don't know this kid, but he clearly may have a better grasp on it than I do. So I don't know personally, but there's something that was bothering me too that I wasn't gonna even talk about until last night, and something last night that really, really got under my skin, and it's about one word: hygiene. It's a very, very small word. A word that doesn't take long to say, even less to do it. And it's a word I don't feel like I should have to even say to another grown person or another person that is over the age of, let's see, 6. Hygiene is just a given. You know, when you step out of the house, there are certain things you should look like and you should smell like. There's just certain things that your mother or father or grandmother or siblings should not have to tell you to do. Last night, sitting in my history class, and I had a guy in front of me. Now, I've been in this class now for about a month now, okay? And sitting in this class, the first day I remember sitting there thinking to myself, wow, did a skunk spray this room? Like, I don't know how many people, live in the inner city or whatever, if you've never smelled a skunk, but I literally thought a skunk was in the vents and it had sprayed its musk all over the school. I was sitting there and I'm sniffing it the first week and I'm like, man, it really smells bad in here. And the heat wasn't working and there was a lot of people in the room. And so, I just thought, well, okay, well maybe, something's going on. Maybe somebody spilled something. No big deal, but, I'll deal with it. Well, week 2 comes around and here we are with the same problem. The same scent, the same odor that was there in week 1. Then I start using my brain a little bit. I turned a little bit into CSI, and I was like Gil Grisham or whatever the guy's name is. I start using some deduction, some reasoning, and I'm like, okay, now I'm sniffing myself. Now it's not me. I'm pretty sure a skunk could not get in this room 2 weeks in a row. Let's think of all the things that are constant around me. I'm looking around. There are different girls sitting around me, so it's not them. It can't be the same girl. Well, here's the only constant. There's the same guy sitting in front of me. And then it starts to dawn on me, the more that he moves back and forth to the side, I'm getting whiffs. I'm literally getting smacked in the face. And last night it just came to a head. It just really got under my skin to the point where I wasn't going to do this and I have to do it now. I feel like I have to. Because, like I said before, and you have to forgive me, I got a cold and it's hard for me to get this out. And this probably helped me a little bit, the fact that I had a cold last night, that some of that odor was blocked from my nostrils. But I shouldn't have to, and no one should have to tell you when you step out of the house how you should smell. I just want to give you, for people out there who are going to be in a public area with, you know, lots of people, and knowing that there's a heat issue outside and all this other stuff, please take a bath. And when I say that, I mean that, and not and try to be funny, because I really want you to understand how pissed I was about this. I don't mean that to be funny. Take a bath, because, you know, you shouldn't smell like a child's diaper. You shouldn't smell like a soiled diaper for 4 hours. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't, that's not an odor that's not natural to our bodies. You shouldn't smell like that.